Welcome back to what I think is my fifth round of Evolution World Championship. Playing against Phillipe who's on, I believe, it's four color. Approaching greatness control. I think it's in general a pretty alright matchup. Definitely can go wrong pretty fast because that's kind of how a lot of the powerful cards in REV work. But I think in general, I'm pretty okay with this matchup. I have a pretty good hand here. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think I will be keeping this on the play at the very least. The mana is slightly awkward in general, but isn't the worst. I suppose actually the sequencing might want to be Caves of Ignia first, so I don't have Aqua mana because I'm just losing. I don't actually have a 2-drop. I do have a 2-drop. Oh, because what, I go Poisoner the next turn, Contest Passage. I guess I can just go Caves of Ignia next turn. Because if I do draw a 2-drop, it's a pretty big deal. And I don't actually. I think the 1 damage isn't that irrelevant. And I play Glen. See if I draw a 2-drop here. I do not. Let's see. At 2 swamps and a mountain, I'm fine just playing Caves of Ignia on whatchamacallit, on the flip side. Let's attack. I guess grab another swamp here. I wanna forget my rat. This is probably the draw being on the slow side, which isn't great. Definitely a issue with the hand, but Erratic speeds up reasonably well. Mercult is also a pretty nice threat. Tapped New Divide Pass. Okay then. If you wanna, my opponent has an even slower draw than I do. I'm not gonna complain. This might be like, what should I call it? The Deed. Hugo's Masterwork, Handiwork. Not sure what else this could really be. I feel like he mulliganed most hands without a 2-drop, right? No, New Divide Pass. Passes the turn back. So presumably this is Succumb to History or Hero. Though none of the 5-drops really help that much. No, they can't even play Hero. Is it Alihana? I think I'm just gonna be playing Mercult here. I don't. I mean, I guess maybe there's an argument for playing Alihana. But I don't think I'm especially convinced by it. Zumi Succumb is on Romantic. This was Exile, right? Yeah. And then my opponent is on 11. My cult trick is on 10, right? Yeah. It's on 11, but I can go Minds of Ignia to put them to 10. 3 mana Aesthetic is fine. Let's have a 2-drop here too. They're approaching greatness. And what is the 5-drop they're fetching? World Forgotten, sure. They don't actually have a second black source, so presumably they'll be able to find one. Under Deep Shade. I guess the line is. Is there any point to playing at Elihana here? I don't think so, right? I think I just go Flaw plus Shade, and then Crystallize for a treasure. Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, I could go Elihana plus Fatal Flaw, swing for 7, but the Shade is more immediately threatening, so maybe that's why I'm not playing it. And that seems good enough. I don't know if that's because they don't have the second black source, or the worlds, whatever, if it's something else, but I'm not gonna complain. Let's see. So Scion is pretty bad here. Does virtually nothing. What does my opponent bring in here? Handiwork. This is like annoying. Let them make cake, maybe. Not much else. Strength from suffering, potentially. I think there's decent odds that strength and suffering comes in here. So Romantic does steal the land aura thing, but I think that's not great because they can just choose not to animate it, I believe. Gift of Deadwoods, yeah. Steals like a couple other random things, but I think dying 2/2/2 Rouse makes it worse than Shade. Shadow Identity seems very good here, particularly because they're tutoring. Fatal Falls take out, though. I'll consider that again in a moment. Let's see. Mercult. This is Inixilus. Huh. Like, they don't have that much tutoring in general. Or, not tutoring, draw. But they also don't have that many answers to Inixilus. just like at all, besides like handiwork, which I think makes it better than Mercult. Maybe that's wrong. Like the game will probably go reasonably long. And I do have some amount of choice as to what my last cards are, because last cards aren't great. I mean, Romantic maybe is just like better than other cards. Tried Ambush kills Aesthetic, which probably isn't worthwhile. I think I'd bring in Flaw and bring in Ambush, because Flaw also kills the land aura. I think I'm tempted to bring in Smash the Smithereens, actually, which is a bit weird, admittedly. But it does kill Handiwork, as well as Gator Realms. And like, I do have Romantic for Landor. Glana deals with Aesthetic reasonably well. So there's like not as much of a concern for Fatal Flaw. And like Ban is like really bad into Handiwork, as well as just the deck not having that many fours in general. I suppose Mercult isn't that bad of a call, but I think I would prefer to go low on the curve. Or maybe Mercult is just better than Smash, because Mercult does kind of deal with Handiwork. Like, I think this is maybe the most natural board plan. I don't love how high in the curve I am, but it's not that bad. Yeah, Shadow Identities too. Yeah, I'll go with this. I'm very tempted to bring in Smashes, but I think that I am gonna decide not to. Like, I do like turn 2 Alihana, and having multiples is like reasonably nice. I guess I'll keep this. It's definitely not great, but I I need like one land to like be able to play the game. That was a minion. How do I feel about minion? Does that change my lines up here at all? I don't think so. I still just go Caves Igniant and sure turn to Alihana. Right? Yeah, I think so. Like going minion to poison is just like so slow. And I'd be yeah. Kind of has explore, which is not great. Oh, Smirk. Why don't you just slam Smirk here? No, right? Don't think it's ever Smirk over Alihana. We'll need to hit a land drop here to continue playing the game. Is it aesthetic? Handiwork, okay. Actually, I don't super mind handiwork for this hand. I mean, it's obviously not good, but land, cool. Let's see. I guess I'm just playing Glana here and minus oneing. But it's kind of my inclination. And hoping to rebuild after the handiwork with Smirk Minion and whatnot. Though I suppose I kind of do want to force the issue a little bit, and going Smirk into to be Smirk and Poisoner does force the issue a bit more, and it does also get me hitting my land drops. It's Smirk Poisoner, right? Not Smirk Minion. Yeah, I think Poisoner is probably the better call here. Glana and Espionage, okay. That's a pretty good Smirk. You find another land, which is nice. Hopefully that means that nothing I messed up. And there, I think I did everything correctly. This is like a bit of an annoying spot because they can just kind of slam a 5-drop and then howdy ho, I can't kill them, and then they crack handiwork next turn. Which is kind of annoying. The question my opponent is asking the judge is whether they can use handiwork and untap to avoid the Alihana trigger, which is not how this works. Anything that triggers an untap, so like inspired, I guess, from canon. So whenever you untap the thing, it triggers. Actually, doesn't even resolve on untap. It resolves in upkeep. Something you learn pretty fast if you play Judge's Tower, for example. Hopefully I can take that to mean that my opponent is at least feeling pretty inclined to crack the handiwork. Because I do think that the longer the handiwork stays out, the nastier it does get. Ooh, just crack it now. Not gonna complain about that. Gator Realms is definitely a bit on the annoying side, but I think I can manage. Cubs Glen. Shade. So what, my lines here are either Minion Alihana or just Nixless. I suppose there's some other things like Minion Glana, which isn't like crazy, but I think probably aren't actually like good. I think I'm just gonna slam Nixless here. Did I grab Waking Glen, which maybe makes the Nixless plan slightly worse, but just because they can potentially clear the Nixilis with the Glen next turn. Or not next turn afterwards. Numlock getting me again. This is also part of the reason that I was considering bringing in Smash Smithereens. Because Gate of Realms is pretty annoying. It's not the end of the world, but it's one of those things that I definitely prefer not to deal with if I had the opportunity. I do have a fair amount of choice next turn, because I can try to, say, block the Waking Glen, and protect the Nixilis, but I could also just Nixilis minus, which is merely marginally awkward because I know they don't have much action in hand. So that might actually just be because the mana base is looking pretty awful here. Level 1 Fields is a reasonably good draw. So what? So they are going to need all their mana to activate Glen next turn. I suppose maybe the Nixilis isn't actually that valuable, just with Gate of Realms being activated twice, killing it. I don't think I want to wheel them here. It is a really good. Oh, it's I guess Nixilis is both players, huh? You might be able to tell this is my first time playing the card. I think I just want a Nixilis minus again, and then go Alihanna Shade. Is that right? I think so. And then hope that that's good enough. If it barely, I mean, maybe there's an argument for just going Minion Shade, and then hold up a mana, so Shade doesn't actually die to the Gate of Realms. Oh, that's an interesting line, huh? And then I have Alihanna Glana next turn. Yeah, I don't really feel like putting Alihanna straight into a Gate of Realms trigger. That would give me more time for Nixilis. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go Minion Shade, um, and -1 Nixilis. And this might just be double Gate of Realms on the Nixilis, which is fine if that's what they're doing. Because they need to do that on upkeep. They want to be doing it, which means that I get a pretty free turn to kind of brute force my advantage. But they do just decide to take it, which does put them down to life, but I guess puts them up at least 1 mana, even if they do still Gate of Realms to kill the Nixilis. 5 Vengeance. Okay, sure. And then this is killing. Oh, it's killing Shade, huh? And then I guess the plan is to kill Nixilis on upkeep, which I suppose isn't the worst plan. Another Caves. I think this Caves is going to play untapped here. Actually, I suppose I do have the line of Caves untapped Alihanna, and then Caves Treasure to plot next turn. How do I feel about that line? It's a bit annoying that Nixilis Minusly doesn't do a ton here, to the point of being actively bad. I think I'm just gonna go Alihanna Glana, and then I think Caves is coming in as Igna always here. I'm always playing Alihanna, and I think I'm always playing Glana too. I guess I actually have Nixilis -2 on the Imp. That's actually probably smarter than -1ing again, right? So this is actually slightly missequenced. And there's another High Nixilis. I don't think I get punished for the missequencing, which is good. Yeah, so let's pass the turn back. I think my board is getting cleared out for the most part. So we'll take 2 lands. They need to be really careful about the mana situation, God. Let's decide to tap Forbidden Throne. Yeah. Let's see, I guess, Passage or Estate. I guess Estate is probably the pick. Yeah, I kinda can unfortunately only cast spells. So they do have Glen activation to clear the Glana. Does it make the Glen as scary than just going face? Is interesting. We'll need to consider what the hell I'm doing next turn. I did actually miss. Did I miss Glana? Yeah, I did miss a Glana Indulge. Oops. Not a big deal. Because Glana's always down ticking again. The opponent is leaving it missed, which is honestly fine. Doesn't really matter. Glana counters seem like the least of my ways in this matchup. And that's another Gate of Realms, which is not great. Have Koi Shafts. This is, I think, fairly force block. I still have those 2 cards in hand. I'll take the 10 back. I have a Swamp, which does mean I can do my plot. I think I want to hold on to Nicholas and see if they like a bunch of card draw or something random, which would make it randomly lethal. And I guess I could always just plot here, activate Glana plot, and Glana's always getting activated. Let's go ahead and do that. Like, I'm not in that great a spot. I think I'm always playing this land. I could go for a reform purpose, to turn off the Forbidden Throne. Because, like, the plot doesn't really do anything at the moment. And the reform purpose token is what? 5/5? I guess the reform purpose token is, like, definitely large enough to be doing stuff here. And it does also let me crack the altar. Yeah, I think I'm good holding on to the plot. So let's go handiwork, I guess passage, explore, Nicholas, and Polyhana, I guess. And then pass the turn back. Yeah. That's one gate around, point at Glana, okay. And then succumb on the token, and then Glen on my face. And then the gate does the, whatchamacallit. And I'm just, lethal is being threatened here with, gate talking my face, and then, Glen, and then double gate. As an espionage, and Mercult, I guess it marginally do something. Oh, I guess maybe this is, premature. Okay, yeah, sure. I was just a bit surprised they, tapped in Koi Shaft. It's just, feels like a weird thing to be tapping for that. Not technically dead here, but we'll need some. Well, actually, no. To come, I'm like more or less dead here. It's like possible, I suppose, that my opponent decides they want to draw like 20 cards, and dies to my Nicholas. Unlikely, but it's possible. And that's good for draw step here, and that's let's see. Definitely does make me regret not bringing in the smashes. I don't know. I guess I had them over the romantics, right? Which I think I'm fine with. And that's a pretty good hand. So I will keep it. It does get blown out by strength and suffering, but what are you gonna do? I'll just straight up let them in caricature. Alter. I just smirk here? Think so. Might not be optimizing my left at all, especially well here. Espionage and Shadow do reform purpose. Hopefully they do not have an explore here. They do not, which is good. Lavaton fields. Let's swing in with smirk. I don't think creature attacks don't matter here. Glana pass back, right? Yeah, and I did not indulge this turn. How does plot work? I know of odds, so I should be able to cast both things. Banner of Darkness. I'm kind of surprised they kept that in. Obviously does do work here. I guess I'm just doing New Divide Glana. Or not New Divide. Yeah, well, yeah, New Divide Glana. Is a New Divide ever actually worth more than Poisoner? I don't think so. There's a Mercult, so it's minorly punished. Don't love my opponent having removal spells on 1, 2, and 3. It's generally not what I'd like them to be doing. Do have at least a semblance of pressure here, which is good. If I draw a land next turn, so Mercult 2, which will be buffed up by the Imp tokens hitting face. Definitely is a bit of a rough lineup in terms of draws. Gator Realms, sure. Definitely don't mind that too much. Because a New Divide, so that's probably just a land for turn. Oh, Revolving Worlds. Huh. Nicholas is not good. Makes me regret this choice against the New Divide. I guess maybe there's an argument that I'm high enough in the curve that makes sense to bin the New Divide instead of the bin the poison instead of the New Divide. I mean, even this spot isn't like the worst. Like I still do have poison and crack food. I guess I want to crack food immediately here so I can get the Glana trigger. Make sure not to miss that. And that will leave Glana active for potential auto anesthetic or something. 4 mana. Okay, sure. Sure then. Rouse Vengeance, and Old Forgotten. Actually, let's see if I can hit a land drop for Nixilis here. That's a land drop. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just going Nixilis mostly. Because they do only have one Vibrant Vengeance, and that is the concern here. I don't think there's anything weird. I think it's just always mostly. Yeah, swing for 8. Okay, did they just discard 3 payoffs? I thought Force Romantic was a card for a second. I was like, oh, it's Force Romantic. Don't have any cards here. Do I want to hold Glana for potential aesthetic? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I just want to Glana Imp, do the natural thing here. I do have Nixilis -2 on the rat next turn, if I want to be doing that. But this just kind of presents lethal with the Nixilis -1 as well. Well, let's see what they wield into. Should be completely blown out here by a Strength and Suffering. It looks like this is Autostatic, I assume. Yeah. Arsenic plus. Oh, that doesn't let them. Oh no, it does, because I can just pay 1 more. I'm assuming the Gator Realms is killing the Nixilis here? Oh, Gifts of Deadwoods, huh. That means they can't Gator Realms. Mills 3 lands, though one of them is a man land. So that changed the land name or anything, right? Yeah. And they have played 2 lands, right? Forbidden Throne and who's eating cake here? Just an imp, sure. Well, that's a Glana. Hell of a draw, that Glana card. So I know they have Waking Glen in hand, right? Yeah. So I guess I want to blow up the Deadwood lands, right? So what am I doing with the rest of my stuff here? I guess I blow up the Deadwood lands because Aesthetic doesn't actually clear. I guess Aesthetic never clears Glana, right? Or it doesn't clear Nixilis, rather. And that will make it a bit harder for them. I guess I am attacking the Poisoner, though, right? Is there any sequencing things I want to do here? I could just cash Nixilis in for 2 cards, because Aesthetic does just block the rat here, always, if I attack with it. And the Gate of Realms will kill the Nixilis. Because I could Glana, no. It does make Glana Indulge too. Waking Glen in hand. 7, 9. I think I want to keep the Nixilis in play, actually, just because I have so much damage here. So, I mean, what? Then the Ghetto Realms is costing 4. That's like a fairly significant cost. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of want to get up to plot, but I think I actually keep the Nixilis in play because it's probably not going to die next turn. And I do like the damage. And if it does die next turn, it's dying to Ghetto Realms, which means it probably can't answer my board. We didn't actually need to animate the Gift of the Deadwoods. This one gives reach, right? Yeah. I'm always attacking with poison here regardless. Oh, they're blocking? What? Okay. I mean, I guess maybe Aesthetic isn't actually worth the life it costs here. But, like, they're all just gonna get punished for this animation. And now they have a hell of a board state to deal with. Okay, they did side in Strength and Suffering. And I do get there. You know, that Nixilis minus getting the 1-ofs. Yeah, they discarded the draw 3-2. Yeah. Man, and I was kind of thinking that, maybe Nixilis will actually have a great in this matchup after that game 2. The melee, the -2 is actually reasonably good here. As far as -2s go, just because I do have a lot of stuff that I can kill with it. And if they did hit the strengths and suffering, it's not in the best of spots. I don't think they have the mana to activate. I think they might have been able to exactly activate Gift of Realms actually with the Waking Glen. So yeah, strengths and suffering would probably put me in a reasonably bad spot because they could they'd get up to some absurd amount of life. Yeah, so they need to take 1 off the estate, but that's not a big deal. And then they would they'd be 1 mana off Gator Realmsing the Nixilis. So the Glana. So they go up to what 8, 7 after the Nixilis. And they would have a fair amount of time. I guess not that much time to deal with stuff. Yeah, I do probably lose to Strengths and Suffering. So I like basically need to cash in my walkers immediately. So I could go like Galana minus and then Nicholas minus 2 on the Galana token. Because otherwise Gator Realm cleans up. Unless I hit like exactly Mercald off the top. I do have like I guess reasonably good draws after Galana minus 1, Nicholas minus 2, because Mercald, as mentioned, would be a 6/6, which nothing they have deals with it. This would be a Strength and Suffering. Another Nicholas would be have a lot of velocity and would probably just outpace the gate. Because they go -1 up 2 off the draw step, and then the Glen would only do a 5. So Nixus would survive at 1. Yeah, I'm pretty far away from plot. Would definitely be a fairly hard top deck battle. Probably a bit of a coin flip as to who wins if Strengths and Suffering is drawn there, because like Forbidden Throw and starts getting like potentially nasty if I don't draw a threat immediately. So I'm not actually on. So maybe even Nixless isn't fast enough. I like because it's only dealing 2, so they go to like 6, and then they can just like casually untap Forbidden Throne and like World Forgotten and start approaching greatness again. I wonder if I guess I probably could have calculated this a little bit better and just said, yeah, let's input super overkill and just like kept one on 2. As Strength Suffering is like the only out basically. I think that's like not too hard to see. And at 3 life and then 2 life off the Nixless, and then there's not really any chance that like single target removal gets them there. So maybe I just hold the Glana, so then this potential line with the Nixless -2 is good enough. So that's like getting pretty far down, and I'm not too unhappy about missing that kind of small optimization. Yeah, was pretty lucky in that I had this in hand, so it wasn't the deck to be drawn. They don't actually hit that bad of a hand off the Nixless. Obviously they could have drawn something here, which would have been kind of rough, but they did not. I think game 2 was just kind of rough. Bit of slow start to the mana situation. Though really I have like a reasonably good start here, but handiwork just kind of gets me. But like, they didn't actually even need to handiwork here if they didn't want to. Probably diligent to do so because like there's no single card here I can use to pressure them too much. That's like more than this board. But so like playing around a potential smash Smithereens is not a bad line. But I think here they could have also just Vibrant Vengeance and say, "Blah, I don't care about what the hell you're doing." I'm gonna untap with 10 mana and then start. Then Handiwork definitely kills everything, so your next turn is also bricked, and then Gate of Realms is active. I suppose there's a bit of awkward sequencing with Gate and Handiwork, but yeah, just that kind of Handiwork being absolutely nuts. Did make me regret not citing the smash, though. Would I have a chance to smash the Handiwork? Just came down stoned on turn 3, right? Yeah. I suppose if I did have Smash the Smithereens here, then I would be in a pretty good spot. I don't even know pretty good spots, the way to put it. So like I have an Alihana minion, and I don't even have the minion of the Vengeance. I have an Alihana and a Nicholas, I guess. I think I hit my next line drop here. Yeah, and then do get some Nixus emblems, but even with them, flooding Gate of Realms is really good card into me. Clearing the walkers is really nasty. I think I did have the Mercults in, but just didn't draw them fast enough. And then game 1, I think they mentioned that they made an error. Oh yeah, they played Notified tapped here, which is kind of funky. Because like such a huge tempo sink to be doing that, as opposed to like because like it also throws off your auto aesthetic. So you're just like you just kind of time walked it, the opponent here. It's not like that big of a deal because like the romantic does is it that big of a deal? And Milcalt come down here. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, because if they had an extra turn here and like then the like vengeance and like even if they're on 3 more life here even the Milcalt isn't activated and they can just go vengeance and I don't actually have lethal well I might have it like Exacxes. The Milcalt's 4, Shade is like 6, and then I can activate Mines, I guess. So that is 1 off Shade. So definitely did lose them the game immediately. I don't know if they would have won. I guess they're not actually on 3 more life. Yeah, because they answered romantic next turn, so they would have been 2 down from the new divide. So probably wouldn't have ended up mattering. But yeah, do take the victory playing against red-white aggro in my next matchup. I think potentially in that matchup, I'm the one hoping to draw the strengths and suffering. Hopefully it's good. I decided in specifically for this matchup, and if it's not good, then I have much more concerns for this matchup, because it's definitely one that I'm a bit scared of, at least on the surface. So these kind of empty the hand kind of style decks always look a bit scarier than they end up being. But yeah, thanks for listening.